Hi there again, BookTube, Leanne here, and welcome back to another video, or welcome if it's your first time. So I've seen it floating around on YouTube recently that people are looking up what their top 10 books are on Goodreads, so I thought I'd give it a little go and see what the top 10 books I've read are on Goodreads. And I'll do a little screen recording on my laptop so that you can look along with me, and it'll be interesting to see what I've read that everybody else seems to love as well, so let's crack on with that. So screen record, Goodreads. Now let's get these books that I've read in order. So read and by average rating, I suppose. And now it's at the worst, so let's put the best at the top. Right. So the book that's at the top of my Goodreads TBR by average rating is actually Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. So I'm not surprised, to be honest, because this is a very cute, fluffy world and series. And people get very invested in these comics specifically. I've got very invested. I've reread them maybe once or twice. But yeah, I'm really not surprised that this comes at number one, over the top of all the fantasy books I've read. But yeah, I suppose this can target like a wider audience because it's just a nice light read that you can put in between all your big heavy reads, and it can, I mean, more people than just general readers, I suppose, read comics. So I'm not surprised at this, but yeah. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman makes number one spot apparently at a average rating of 4.7 on Goodreads. I mean, I rated it a 5-star because I love them, so I'm really not surprised. I'm going to skip over the next two because they are also volumes of Heartstopper by the looks of things. And I'll put my number 2 spot for the next one, which is Way of Kings. Oh, I've got 2 editions on there for myself because I've read it twice. And I must have clicked on 2 different editions, but they are both the same average rating. So the Way of Kings is a 4.61 on Goodreads as an average rating. I'll grab my edition. So this is my copy of The Way of Kings. I have the full volume in one book, so I didn't get like part 1 and part 2 on mine because I read it as a whole big book, and it's floppy. It's a chunky floppy book. I love it. But yeah, here's my edition of The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And yeah, it's rated a 4.6 by the general public. I know a lot of people have said like how many people have voted on that, but I haven't got it on screen. I've just got it in list form. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. A lot of people love The Way of Kings, the Stormlight Archives. So I've still only read the first book. Eventually I'll read more. But yes, I have read this twice, apparently. Yeah, I remember reading this twice, actually. It's a bit of a hard thing to miss, isn't it? But yeah, I read this twice, so that's why I've got 2 copies up on my read pile. So the next on my list is another quite cute book. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, and that's by Charlie Mackesy. This is something I've read to my son a few times, or you can just flick through it on your own. It's like an illustrated. You can kind of just turn to any page, and it's just like a nice little book. So it's not. It is a story, but it's one of those you could just open and read any page as well. And the author's like, oh, I like the idea of a book where you can just open it at any page and enjoy it. So yeah, this is a cute book. It's very popular. It was quite popular, I think, towards the beginning of this year. Everybody was raving about it. I think that's when I bought it. So yeah, that's right, January I read this. So yeah, I'm not surprised by this either, because it can target a wider range of audience than like avid readers, because anybody could just pick this up at any given point in time, turn to any page and just like it. So I'm again not surprised by this. So the next spot on my list is for book number 4, is Court of Mist and Fury. Not surprised at all. I'll grab mine again. I'm pretty sure this is a Sarah J Maas favourite by Sarah J Maas fans. But yeah, it's a fae book, and there's a big audience for people who enjoy reading about fae. So I'm not surprised that this has come at spot number 4. I was actually kind of expecting it to be higher on the list. I rated this a 5, and this comes at a 4.59 rating. This is a later book of the series, so, or like the second book in a series. A lot of people who didn't like the first one wouldn't normally read the second one, so I'm not surprised it's such a high rating. So that's number 4 on this list. Book number 5 I don't have physically, but that's Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I'll put a picture here. Yeah, I'm not surprised at this spot either. I personally preferred Six of Crows over Crooked Kingdom when I read them, but I know a lot of people rave about Crooked Kingdom and absolutely adore it, so yeah, I'm really not surprised by this spot. This came to a 4.59 as well, so it comes kind of at the same spot as this in a way, because it's the same rating. So yeah, again, second book in a series, so people who didn't like the first one wouldn't have read the second one, which is probably why part of why it has a higher rating, and people really enjoyed that. So book number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So book number 6 on the list is this book right here, Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. Again, I'm not surprised another Sarah J Maas books on this list. A lot of people have read and enjoyed both series. So this is the Throne of Glass series, the final book in it. It's a chonker, and I'm pretty sure I got the special edition. Yes, I did. So it's got these beautiful, just showing this off because I don't think I've actually shown you guys this before, but I got this beautiful edition. But yeah, again, not surprised it's the final book in a series, so people who would have got this far would have adored it. And I enjoyed this ending, so yeah, again, not surprised. This came at a 4.56, so quite a high spot on the list. So next up on my list, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is book 7, I think. And that's volume 3 of Full Metal Alchemist is next on the list here. I'm actually kind of surprised, because I thought a lot of other books that I've read would be higher. I didn't expect this to make the list, basically. But yeah, volume 3 is really good. I've enjoyed Full Metal Alchemist as I've been reading it. Again, I suppose it's a wider audience of people who read manga as well as reading books and all that kind of stuff. So more people, again, would probably rate this. But yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is very good. So it's a thumbs up from me that it made this spot. Volume 3 of Full Metal Alchemist got a 4.56 as well, so the same as Kingdom of Ash. And so this makes a spot on the list too. So after that, there seems to be a lot of like next book in the series books on this list. But again, people who continue on with the series will rate them higher normally because they are invested in the series. So Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare is next on this list at number 8. And again, I'm not surprised. I personally have read the Infernal Devices series, which is this one, and the Mortal Instruments series, and I prefer this. Set in the past, it's more my cup of tea for urban fantasy. And I actually really enjoyed this, so I'm not surprised that this was the Cassandra Clare book that made a high rating. So I was expecting Cassandra Clare to be in here with me having read them. So yeah, this made a 4.54 star rating, average star rating. So I think the next one's number 9. I'm going to skip Queen of Shadows because we've already got a book from that series. And I'm going to jump onto The Return of the King. With Lord of the Rings, I have like a bind up copy of it. So I'll have to show this up. I was actually starting to worry that Lord of the Rings wasn't going to make it onto this list. But I shouldn't have. So this is making number 9 spot. Again, not surprised. I'm rereading this series very soon. So I'm very, very excited to jump back into this world. But yeah, I'm really not surprised. Again, third in a series, and you know, people stuck through it and enjoyed it and rated it average 4.54. So I'm very happy to see this on the list. So, final book on this top 10 tier. I'm going to skip Empire of Storms because, again, that series is already on the list. Heartstopper's already on this list. Full Metal Alchemist. So, I'm going to go with Attack on Titan Volume 2, which is right here. I can't believe that all the ones, like nearly all of these books I own. Like, I've read a lot of digital books recently and none of them are on this list. So, I'm very surprised that I could actually own, like I've got most of these books right here. But yes, Attack on Titan Volume 2 made the list just about on 10th place. I'm very surprised at this actually because there's like so many like books that people hold high. Like Name of the Wind is just under this. And it's on so many people's lists, but this is still on the spot. But Attack on Titan is a very violent, gory manga about the kind of a post-apocalyptic world where these giants have basically taken over the world and eaten most of the people. And it's about these people fighting the Titans and all this. Wow, but as a manga, I'm not surprised. This is very, very popular and lots of people adore it. I need to give them the ones I've got to reread and start collecting more of the mangas myself. It's just a very expensive thing to do is collect mangas. So that's why I haven't got any further than like volume 3, I think. But as mangas go, I'm not surprised these are on the list, if any. But yeah, that is my top 10 pile. I'm actually quite surprised by the list because a lot of other people's are quite different to mine. I suppose from the ones I've watched, I have a different variety of reading. And so maybe that's why. But yes, I'm quite happy with that list. I am going to make another list as well, inspired. I don't know if anybody else has done this. They probably have. But another video I'm going to do soon is the worst books on this list. So that will be coming up at some point soon. So you got that to look forward to as well. But here are most of the books on this tier list. So, oh, these are some chunkers. So, I'm going to put this down now. That was very exciting. It was really interesting to see that. So thank you very much all for watching and I will see you guys in my next video. TTFN. Bye-bye.